Peace I ask of thee, O river, peace, peace, peace. When I learn to live serenely, cares will cease. From the hills I gather courage, visions of the day to be, strength to lead and faith to follow, all are given unto me. Peace I ask of thee, O river, peace, peace, peace. Peace I ask of thee, O river, peace, peace, peace. When I learn to live serenely, cares will cease. From the hills I gather courage, visions of the day to be, strength to lead and faith to follow, all are given unto me. Peace I ask of thee, O river, peace, peace, peace.
There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. Sometimes I feel discouraged and think my work's in vain, but then the Holy Spirit revives my soul again. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. If you cannot preach like Peter, if you cannot pray like Paul, you can tell the love of Jesus and say he died for all. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul.
Good morning and welcome to the Morristown Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Welcome to our faith of open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. We're so glad you're here. I have a couple of announcements about upcoming events. First, The Jewish High Holy Days are coming up, and we'll be hosting a Rosh Hashanah service tomorrow, Monday, September 6th at 7 p.m. on Zoom, and a Yom Kippur service on the evening of Wednesday, September 15th on Zoom. You'll find the link at muuf.org/virtual. Children, youth, and adults of all ages, you are invited to our in-gathering service and water communion next Sunday, September 12th at 10 a.m. in person outside on our front oval, and we'll also live stream the service. We invite you to collect water from your home or a place nearby or further away, and to bring it with you next Sunday. Following the in-gathering service, we'll have a BYO picnic together. This year, people are invited to bring food just for themselves or their family or their pod, and we'll share in a communal treat together. A cake to celebrate the new entrance and all the improvements around our front oval. We also have a huge announcement that you will not want to miss. We encourage you to bring your own travel mug and outdoor chair. We will be serving coffee and lemonade, but don't worry, we will have extra cups and chairs on hand if you need them. Welcome to our service this morning, which is co-led by Stearns Matthews, our music director, Nick Wallwork, our lifespan religious educator, and me, Alison Miller, your senior minister. Our worship will center on the balm that music is in our lives. We've been blessed by music throughout the pandemic, including in our Sunday services. And yet, we long to be able to sing together again, which we will soon. Music is central to what it means to be human. It's a source of joy and healing, a means of expression of our sorrow and pain, as well as a source of community connection and transformation. We hope you enjoy. Our offering will be split 50-50 between our fellowship and Homeless Solutions. There are 3 ways to give. You can go to our website to the giving link, you can give via text, or you can mail in a check. Thank you for your generosity. Join me in our opening affirmation. It is good to be. It is good to be here. It is so good to be here together.
In the morning.
I want to take a moment to talk to you about my own story in music as we talk about that. In fact, I want to tell you a story about when music began my journey to here. See, I had grown up in the Christian church, in the Presbyterian church. It was the only church the closest church I had in preschool when I was 3 years old, and I continued to grow in that church. I went through the Sunday school and youth group process. I served on its board as a teenager. I went on to serve in the National General Assembly. And then I worked in churches in youth ministry and children's ministry for many years. But I had this moment that changed the trajectory of my career and my life. And it happened at a concert. See, 4 years ago, I went to the concert of this band called Dispatch. Now, I went with some camp friends of mine, and we went to go listen to this band that we had listened to when we worked at camp. It was this kind of reggae, jam band, hippie, college rock group from the early 2000s that we had all listened to and really enjoyed. And so we went to see them in New York, and when we got there, they had all their booths set up, merch of the different bands, the openers, and things like that. They were giving away water bottles, so we didn't have to use disposable water bottles. And then they had a table with flags, kind of like flags on a banner, like a grand opening kind of thing, or Buddhist prayer flags, Tibetan prayer flags, if you've seen those. And I asked the person behind the table, what is this all about? And they said, well, Pete, one of the members of the band, was not actually touring with the band because he was suffering with some mental health issues. And so what they wanted us to do was to highlight those who suffer with mental health issues and to write their names and maybe a message on the flags, and they were going to fly them above the stage when the band went on. And so I wrote down a couple people that I knew, a nice message, and went on about my business. But I know from years of youth group that this is the most youth groupy kind of thing, right? Write down message, we'll put it up, and in our Christian context, we would lift it up to God. To those people there, the dreadlocked guy behind the table, we were going to send out some good vibes to those dealing with mental health issues. So it felt a little bit familiar from my religious upbringing. And so we went into the concert, and the opening band played, and it was great. And while they were on, I was noticing more and more people coming in and realizing that we were all in our mid-30s and way too old to be at this kind of concert, way too old to be reliving these things, but we were all in it together. Everyone had their hats on backwards, wearing their best tie-dye with their graying beards and hair. We were having a good time. And then the band, Dispatch, came on. And they played through their whole set. And they played. It was wonderful. It was an amazing concert. Great times. Reliving our past with some of my great best friends from when I was a teenager, who I worked with and shared with. And then the band went to their closing set. Now, the band has always closed with the same song. You know how bands do. They pick a song and that's their closer. Well, their closer, Dispatch's closer, is from one of their early albums, and it's called The General. And The General is a song about a general who sends his troops home because he has a vision and realizes that war is not worth fighting for anymore. And he sends them home. He says, you can go, you can leave, you can stay. I'm staying because it is my duty, but you can all go because this is not worth fighting. And then the kind of end of the song, it goes through the bridge, and the closing piece of it is just the band repeating over and over again, you are forgiven. That's the song. Go now, you are forgiven. Go now, you are forgiven. And so as the band got to that piece, the crowd, knowing what it was, began to sing loud. Go now, you are forgiven. Go now, you're forgiven. All of these 30-year-old, 35-year-old former hippies now probably taking a break from their very plain family lives, reliving the joy of that. And we were singing loud, and those words were echoing amongst us. And there were the flags sending out good vibes to those dealing with mental health issues. And in that moment, as the band kept playing on, and then they got to the end and they stopped. The band stopped. But the crowd did not. The crowd continued to sing, "You are forgiven, you are forgiven." And in that moment, I felt all of the things that we were supposed to feel in all of those years growing up in the Christian church. What the Christian church would have said is the flow of the Spirit. What those folks there that day no doubtly said were good vibes. What some of us would say is the universe speaking to us or through us. And in that moment where the music was happening, then the band stopped and the crowd was still singing, I felt all of the things that for 35 years I had been told that I should feel in worship. And I indeed had, at times, felt those things, but those things of that sense of community and connectedness, I felt in that moment. And in that moment, I realized that if I can feel what I'm supposed to feel at my home church and that concert with a bunch of 2 old hippies drinking beer and smoking weed and singing along, that I can feel that anywhere. And if that's the case, then that spirit that we're chasing, that connectiveness that we were looking for, can be felt anywhere. And that no one church or religion or faith has a lock on that vibe, those good vibes, those movements of the Spirit. And so in that moment, with that music searching, I knew at that time I needed to relook at my entire worldview. My entire faith was shook to its core because of some good music.
Far beyond the grasp of hands, or light to meet the eye, past the reaches of the mind, there find the key to nature's harmony, in an architecture so entwined. Like the birds whose patterns grace the sky, and carry all who join in love expanding, the message of peace will rise in flight, taking the weight of the world upon its wings, in the oneness of everything.
Peace is in the dance of trees who stir before the first breath of wind is yet perceived. Trust in the song becoming one with the dance, and all mysteries can be believed.
Songs of life long past that touch our own are written in the earth, ever giving, and now to maintain the harmony
Giraffes Can't Dance by Giles Andre and Guy Parker Reese. Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully crooked and his legs were rather thin. He was very good at standing still and munching shoots off trees, but when he tried to run around, he buckled at the knees. Now every year in Africa they hold a jungle dance where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. And this year when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad because when it came to dancing, he really was very bad. The warthogs started waltzing and the rhinos rock and roll. The lions danced the tango that was elegant and bold. Chimps all did a cha-cha with a very Latin feel, and 8 baboons teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. Gerald swallowed bravely as he walked towards the floor, but the lions saw him coming and they soon began to roar. "Hey, look at clumsy Gerald," the animals all sneered. "Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool. Oh, Gerald, you're so weird." Gerald simply froze up. He was rooted to the spot. They're right, he thought. I'm useless. Oh, I feel like such a clot. So he crept off the dance floor and he started walking home. He never felt so sad before, so sad and so alone. He found a little clearing. He looked up in the sky. The moon can be so beautiful, he whispered with a sigh. "Excuse me," coughed the cricket, who'd seen Gerald earlier on. "Sometimes when you're different, you need a different song." Listen to the swaying of the grass, and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music is those branches in the breeze. So imagine that the lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really want it to. With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin. Then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hooves had started shuffling, making circles on the ground. His neck was gently swaying, and his tail was swishing round. He threw his arms out sideways, and he swung them everywhere. Then he did a backward somersault and leapt up in the air. Gerald felt so wonderful, his mouth was open wide. "I am dancing, yes, I am dancing, I am dancing," Gerald cried. Then one by one, each animal who'd been there at the dance arrived while Gerald boogied on them and watched quite entranced. They shouted, "It's a miracle, we must be in a dream. Gerald's the best dancer that we've ever seen." "How did you learn to dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how." Gerald simply twirled around and finished with a bow. Then he raised his head and looked up at the moon and the stars above. "We all can dance," he said, "when we find music that we love."
I invite you to join me in a spirit of prayer and reflective meditation. Spirit of life and love, we give thanks for breath, for shelter, and this moment. We give thanks for this community and ministries of lifelong learning, caring, justice building, inspiration, and music. We give thanks for reaching a new year, Rosh Hashanah, and the opportunity to begin again, to commit to lives of meaning and making a difference. We name our anguish over the devastation that we have witnessed in the last week, including the loss of life and mounting harm in Afghanistan from Hurricane Ida and from COVID. We name our anger and disappointment at the erosion of women's right to choose in Texas. We name that we are the ones who must act for change, for peace, for climate justice, and for reproductive justice. Today also, we celebrate the soundtracks of our lives and the music which lifts us up and makes us want to dance, or soothes our spirit and helps us to transcend pain. We celebrate musical instruments of all kinds, the bowed strings, woodwind, brass, percussion, keyboard, and the guitar family. We celebrate the music of our ancestors, our childhood, our past, present, and future. We are music makers, all of us. And so we remember to give voice to notes of thanks, wonder, and praise, notes of failure, loss, and pain, and notes of aspiration, hope, and healing. All these things and so many more are our prayers, meditations, and yearnings. Amen, and blessed be, and may it be so.
When I am frightened, will you reassure me? When I'm uncertain, will you hold my hand? Will you be strong for me? Sing to me quietly. Will you share some of your stories with me? If you will show me compassion, then I may learn to care as you do. Then I may learn to care. When I am angry, will you still embrace me? When I am thoughtless, will you understand? Will you believe in me? Stand by me willingly. Will you share some of your questions with me? If you will show me acceptance, then I may learn to give as you do. Then I may learn to give. When I am troubled, will you listen to me? When I am lonely, will you be my friend? Will you be there for me? Comfort me tenderly. Will you share some of your feelings with me? If you will show me commitment, then I may learn to love as you do.
One summer, I served as a chaplain on a burn and reconstructive surgery unit at Massachusetts General Hospital. There was a man on my unit who had been the victim of a tragic drunk driving accident. Paul was driving home from work late one evening when all of a sudden his car was in the path of a drag race between two drunken individuals. His entire body was fractured and broken, and he lay in unimaginable pain without any assurance of ever walking again. He had been a patient there for 2 months. I walked in to introduce myself, and he grumbled that he already had a pastor and not to disturb him, which was fine with me. I figured that I was the one person that a patient could actually say no to in a hospital. Every day I would just peer in and say good morning and leave, until one day, a few weeks later, he invited me in. It turned out that he was a church choir director and that his whole family was in the church music business. He said that he didn't want to pray, just to spend time talking. I listened to his story about the accident, about his life, about how he loved to sing, about how he struggled to imagine what his life would be like if he couldn't dance, and his fears about whether or not he could provide financially for his family. One day, I asked him, "How long has it been since you sang or heard a good hymn?" He said it was 3 months. The next day, I arrived with copies of some of my favorite songs and copies of the hymnals of several traditions. Filled with anxiety and anticipation, I entered his room and asked, would he entertain the notion of a novice singer like myself and sing with me? He said yes, and we began with one of my favorite songs that speaks of finding hope even when it's hard to find. His wife and daughter heard us from outside in the hall, and soon they came in and joined our song. Tears streamed down everyone's cheeks as we all released into the power of something so familiar and so healing as the notes on the pages. Next, he chose a hymn that spoke of the power of God to heal. And so the hours went that morning, with all of us choosing hymns and singing them together. Finally, we gravitated towards African American spirituals that told of the harrowing times of slavery and pain and pointed towards the future of freedom and glory. These spirituals seemed to best approximate Paul's feelings of loss and hope. At the end of the summer, I visited Paul and his family one last time. We said goodbye, and he thanked me for bringing music back into his family's life. I told him I was simply returning the gift that he had given so many others. He shared that although he wasn't sure about what the future held for him, he knew that he would always be a music director. His faith in God, in his family, and most importantly, in himself, once as shattered as his body, was now restored. Sometimes music is the best medicine. Its sound waves and vibrations able to reach wounds deep in the heart and soul and psyche. This is ancient wisdom modern medicine forgot for a time. The ancient Greeks, among others, knew it to be true, which is why Apollo was the god of healing and music. The two are intertwined. The Chinese character for medicine has the Chinese character for music in it. There are numerous examples across religions and cultures, but for hundreds of years, Western medicine broke with this tradition. In the early 1800s, the connection of music and medicine was reestablished, in part spurred on by a Universalist, Dr. Benjamin Rush, a physician and psychiatrist, a reformer of medicine, education, government, and an abolitionist. He used music as a treatment for disease. It makes sense. Research shows that music lowers blood pressure, slows our heart rate, and reduces stress. It even helps our friends and family members with Alzheimer's retrieve memories. So as we all find ourselves in need of healing in the wake of so much trauma, don't forget this prescription. Listen to your favorite music throughout the week and sing with us on Sunday morning.
There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere.
It's no secret that I like singing better than anything else. I've always liked it better than anything else. I liked it more than any toy as a child, more than TV or movies or going to the theater or sports or reading or travel. For me, it just doesn't get any better than singing. It's just the way it is. As long as I can remember, no matter the day or the circumstance, I have always been in the mood to sing. When the world changed in March of 2020, I felt like singing. As the world's emotional temperature rose and rose, so did my desire to sing my face off. But as I dove into learning how to create video and audio recordings for our worship services, my focus shifted from the palpable magic that music creates to the truly unbelievable digital magic that happens inside computers with music. Suddenly, the concerns of, what if I play the wrong note? What if I forget the lyrics? What happens if the sopranos and altos don't come in together? That all disappeared. All easily fixable with the push of a button. Cool. The obvious difference between recorded music and live music is that when you're recording, there's no audience there. You have to somehow figure out a way to strike an intimate relationship with the camera. Which I found to be uncomfortable at first, but you do get the hang of it. But, like many relationships, the honeymoon period passed quickly. What they don't tell you is that every time you think you get a good take, you go back and watch it and find an infinite number of things wrong with it, and then you record it a dozen more times and you hate them all, so you end up using the first take anyway. I was in a relationship with the camera, a codependent, unhealthy relationship that had me asking, am I pleasing you, camera? Do I look good? Do I sound good? Why am I even doing this? And for the first time ever, I didn't feel like singing. I felt like crying and screaming and throwing stuff. I was so angry. I was angry at the world being upside down and computers and COVID and my family and my friends. And I was angry at music. I felt abandoned by it. It was as if music had slipped me a note that said, I don't want you anymore. You can still make your little recordings, but real music? You don't deserve real music. I felt that way for months. I felt like I would never climb out of that hole. I was lost. I consider myself an agnostic atheist. At a certain point last year, I found myself jealous of the staunch theists among us. At least those folks in the world have someone to pray to, a power, a force, a whatever, to share their desires, their feelings, their vision for how things could get better. What did I have? Then I thought, oh yeah, music is that thing for me. I thought, what am I doing? I shouldn't be mad at music. It's not the music's fault that the world is bananas. Music is what I turn to when things are bananas. I realized that there is a balm in Gilead, and it's music. Music, always present, always within reach. For lack of a better explanation, I had to remind myself that it's my favorite thing. I had to remind myself that music in itself can't do any harm. Music is a balm. A friend of mine who is a Juilliard-educated, world-class musician once told me that making music was as close as she gets to praying. She said it like it was an excuse, like it would somehow be better if she could find herself praying in a more traditional way. I wish that she had had the courage to say it differently, to say, music is prayer for me, or music is my spirituality, or music is my balm in Gilead. What's your balm in Gilead? Friends, I invite you to give yourself permission to identify what that is for you. What's always there? What's omnipresent? What is your constant? And then remember to actively and radically love that thing. When you remember to love the thing, you want to do the thing. Plain and simple. As for me, I plan to feel like singing every day for the rest of my life.
May you see God's light on the path ahead, when the road you walk is dark.
Hear my song. It'll help you believe in tomorrow. Hear my song. It'll show you the way you can shine. Hear my song. It was made for the times when you don't know where to go. Listen to the song that I sing. You'll be fine. Sing, sing a song, sing out loud, sing out strong, sing of good things, not bad, sing of happy, not sad, sing a song, make it simple to last your whole life long. Don't worry that it's not good enough for anyone else to hear. Sing a song. La 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 la. La 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 la. Sing a song. Let the world sing along. Sing of love that could be. Sing for you and for me. Sing a song. Make it simple to last your whole life long. Don't worry that it's not good enough for anyone else to hear. Just sing a song. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. If you cannot preach like Peter, if you cannot pray like Paul, you can tell the love of Jesus and say he died for all. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul.